Hey everyone, it is Dork4, Kelso, and I'm here for another comic book week. Before I get started on the awesome comic books, however, I want to mention, and I know it's super late notice, but I actually need to change my live stream for the previews for the month because of scheduling conflicts. And so I'm going to have to move the stream to Fridays from now on, so it'll actually start tomorrow. So February 10th, and I'm going to do, let's say 7 Central. Okay, let's do 7 Central. I think 6 is a little too early. A lot of people are still, like, in certain areas still, you know, getting off of work and stuff, maybe. So because I'm doing it Friday, I'm going to push it up to 7. So 7 Central tomorrow. So Friday the 10th. I'm going to do my live stream. So on Twitch, Dork4Kelso, you can come and have a great conversation about comic books and all that fun stuff. So hopefully I can see you there. And without further ado, I have some really great comic books. Nothing new this week, unfortunately. I like getting new stuff, even though I'm super behind. I still like getting them, of course. So I have a few I want to talk about. Nothing, like I said, nothing new. But these are my, out of what I have this week, these are my top suggested books. So if you're not reading them, I highly suggest them, and they are all totally different. So we'll start with Sons of Anarchy. If you were a fan of the show, or the first comic book series, I would suggest reading it because this is the story of Jax Teller before he is an actual son in Sons of Anarchy, before he's officially in the club. So it's him and Opie, if you watch the show, you know him, kind of getting into it. So I really like the art, it's fun, and it's just him being, you know, a rebellious kid or whatever before he starts. So kind of a good preview there. There he is. And so the good old, the good old motorcycle stuff. So it's been good. I think Boom's done a great job. So if you're interested, I would, you know, check that out. So Sons of Anarchy. Now this one I may have mentioned before, but I have actually read Throwaways now. And Throwaways is super awesome. So if you like Black Ops, like CIA undercover type stuff mixed with like superpowers and like almost like magic, I think this is for you. So the story is about mostly Dean and Abby and then Kimiko, who's Dean's girlfriend, and she has an interesting part in the story. And the Throwaways are people who are like in the CIA and undercover ops. They're like the throwaway assassins. So that's why it's Throwaways. They're the people that that don't matter. Like they do their job, and if they die, they die. And so she's involved in this. And I think this is really interesting here. I don't know much about these people yet. This is issue 5. And so it really is. It's like this undercover ops stuff. You know, people don't remember stuff. Being hunted, trying to figure out what's going on. And then there's people who, like you can see on the cover, like control stuff with their minds, sort of thing. So not like crazy superpowers, but like maybe like the I guess like normal ones, controlling things with your mind, being able to maybe like read people's minds, that sort of thing. So lots of fun computer hacking, magic, undercover badass fighters. I guess is the best way I can say it. So Throwaways, definitely I suggest as a fun read. Nothing too bad or brutal about it, just a really good story. Alright, then, as always, I have East of West. Super excited. I feel like it's been a while. So let's see what we got. This is issue 31. The last issue was crazy. Lots of stuff happened. Alright. And so we got the towers here. Oh, it's East of West. Alright. Just Jonathan Hickman doing his thing. People wanting to rule the world. Different factions. All doing their thing. Big, crazy, religious, prophet type guy in the middle of all of it. That was recently, like, who the prophet was changed. And I don't know. It's honestly, like, really hard to explain. But if you aren't reading it, you should be. This will go down, I believe, at least for Hickman. Like, I mean, Hickman's put out a ton of stuff, but I feel like he'll go down, you know, in the top whatever. I guess they don't have like Hall of Fames for comic book writers, but they totally should. Maybe they do. I don't know. But he would definitely go to the Hall of Fame for something like this. Next we have Birthright, which the story is getting super intense, and I think it's gonna be sooner or later. I'm assuming, I have no idea how many issues it's supposed to be. This is issue 22, maybe it's only like 25, 30, I would be surprised. I should probably look more into that, because I'm always really sad when I find out it's the last issue when I'm reading it. So let's get a cool picture here for you, because everything's pretty awesome. Ha, there you go. That's sweet. So Birthright, there's two different worlds. One world's our normal world, like today, and the other world's like a magic world, ran by a crazy, like, super powerful dictator type guy. And now the two worlds are colliding. So that's really fascinating to see what's happening with that. And just everything's kind of coming to a head right now because we're 22 issues in. So if you're behind, you definitely have a little bit to catch up on. Last comic book I'm going to talk about today is The Wicked and Divine. Now, I honestly thought The Wicked and Divine kind of went down on like a little slump. But it's definitely making a comeback. It almost seemed like maybe a little repetitive, like the things that were happening, and then like the big thing happened, and now we're seeing what came from the big event, which I can't tell you because if you so you don't know who this big crazy beast thing is, but I do because it came out last. Like, we're learning more about it, so it's really cool. Beautiful art, amazing story, great characters. I can't, like, I just love the characters. Like, I want to show you, like, this chick. Like, she's just look at this art. Like, look at her. She is so cool looking. If I would cosplay, I think I'd totally cosplay as her. That would be so cool. There's a bunch of them that I would totally want to. Like, I always think of Wicked and Divine, like, man, if I, like, got into cosplay, I would totally do some of the stuff from Wicked and Divine because they have super cool makeup, super cool hair, super cool outfits, and it would be fun to try to, you know, make stuff like this. So that is Wicked and Divine. Gods on Earth, and they have powers and they do stuff. I've talked about it a bunch. But if you haven't seen that, then that would be weird because I mention it every time I get it. I love it that much. And then the rest of the comics will be in the comments or the info section, so you can check out everything else that I'm reading. Okay, there they are. They're good, but they're not the greats, right? Like, I could probably read any comic book and probably like it just because they are awesome, and the visuals and how much time and effort and artwork and everything that's put into comic books, I just appreciate all of it. But, I still have my favorites. All right, so I do suggest you start on any of these that I mentioned. I don't think you would be disappointed. So I hope I can get some of you on the stream tomorrow night and get talking about comic books. Sorry I had to change the date so quickly, but life happens. So I hope you all are having a fabulous week and that you're gonna have a great weekend. And yeah, peace out, dorks.